What's up, everyone? We are back for another episode of Abby's Abode. Hope you all are doing well. We have quite a bit that we're going to get to this evening, but as always, let's start here. And I'm going to introduce Abby. So, Jody, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Doing good. Good to see everyone. We had a big weekend, which we're going to discuss. You know what? As a matter of fact, let me just start here before we get to how the Gillies spent their solar eclipse day, because we're going to start there first. But before we get to that, before we get to music, we'll share a couple of reactions on our channel. The first being a certain sighting from a legend. So let's get there first.
By Roman.
Because they're cursing.
Wow.
Hey, Roman came out of nowhere too.
The Rock Seth just got taken out. So Seth came down in the Shield outfit and got taken out by Roman, and now Rock's gonna get his chance. The Undertaker! It's the Undertaker! Oh my God! It's the Undertaker! It's the Undertaker!
What is
Oh my
happening?
God,
Let's
insane.
go.
It's
What?
the Undertaker!
He's behind the
What in the world is
Oh
my
my
God.
Oh my
Oh
God!
my God.
Undertaker's right behind the Rock.
Oh!
Look at this. He goes to hit
What
him
in
with the
the
belt.
world?
He's gonna get choke slammed. Undertaker choke slams the Rock. Oh my God! I don't believe it.
He's pulling.
That was one. Obviously, we're going to get back to the Undertaker because I have a specific question about the Undertaker. But we're also going to get to the moment where Cody Rhodes finished his story. And I'll say this too. If I spoiled that for you in any way, I'm not apologizing because it's been everywhere. So if you haven't seen it, I apologize. But here's the moment where we saw Cody Rhodes finish his story.
Cody with a kick. Crossroads.
Oh my God.
Got him with the
Do
crossroads.
it, Cody. Do it, Cody.
Watch that the referee doesn't get taken out, and Paul Heyman is still out there.
One more, Cody. One more, Cody. One more.
Heyman screaming, no, no, no.
One,
He's going to
two.
cover him. He's going to kick out. 2.
There we
He
go.
beat him.
Hey, let's go. Let's go.
Cody
Oh my God!
Oh my God, that was amazing.
Oh my
That
God.
was amazing.
Oh
my
that's
God.
Brilliant!
Woohoo.
All the old veterans come back. Oh, that was amazing, dude.
Let's go. Let's go.
Freaking Undertaker. Oh my God, that was so good.
Oh!
Oh man.
It's
Oh my
brilliant.
God, dude.
Wow.
Oh
You
my
wanna talk
There's his
about-
wife.
You want to talk about a great story
Oh
throughout
my
a
God.
match? You want to talk about a build that? Oh my gosh. Wow.
Oh my God.
That was amazing.
Undertaker back?
And because everyone here watching is cool, you got a sneak preview because those reactions are going up on the channel as separate clips. So thank you, Jody, for clipping those moments. But really, really cool. A lot of a lot of emotion this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm. Lots and lots of emotions. Like my kids were insanely happy that Cody won, and obviously Chris was too. He said, I asked him afterwards, I said, was that worth the year wait? And he said yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. The
very
way that the way that they did that made it worth the wait.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, with all of the odds stacked against Cody, it
Mm-hmm.
just made sense for him to get some help. And who better to have help from than Jey Uso, John Cena, and of
And
course
Undertaker.
The Undertaker. So really cool stuff there. Yeah, it was a great weekend. Obviously, we're gonna get to some other cool things that came out of WrestleMania weekend, and some different photos from WWE World in regards to our guy Bray Wyatt. And we'll talk about the Hall of Fame, which was a very special moment, and you know I thought that was a beautiful moment when the U.S. Express, Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda, were inducted, and we'll get to that. But so obviously, we've got the eclipse up there. So Jody, talk us through what you and the fam did yesterday in terms of the eclipse, and I got another photo here. There you go. So talk us through yesterday and how you all spent that day.
It was almost like a knee-jerk reaction not long before that morning. And I was like, we should all wear Bray stuff and get our lanterns out because it's going to be dark. And he said he would always light the way. So, yeah, it stuck. And all of us wore Bray shirts and we took our lanterns out there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And how did you get complete totality?
We did. Actually, the center line of the path of totality pretty much like went right through our street.
Wow.
So we got complete totality.
Wow. Yeah, I'll say this, it was a little bit disappointing here, just because we had some clouds and some rain and that kind of thing. But I watched a lot of different footage. I was watching a broadcast going across America, like Texas, and I saw some shots from Indy and some different places, and it was really cool to see how many people gathered and kind of did their own things, but then had large gatherings as well. But obviously, you and your family, this is just absolute special.
And that first picture you showed, that was actually my sister-in-law. Her friend had a special like filter on their camera, and they actually took that picture. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool, really really cool. And yeah, I mean, I love that picture though, and
Thank
all
you.
of you having the lantern, that's awesome. Well, we obviously, like I said, we're going to get to the Hall of Fame and some different things. But I know that we have an upcoming, and this is kind of teased out in the title. So we have an upcoming exclusive episode. So I just wanted you to get to that and tell the folks about what they have to look forward to.
Yeah. Right now we're hoping to do it on the 23rd. So Kyle reached out to me, and obviously he and I have been friends for a while now, and I've seen a lot of things that I couldn't show anybody else, so I've seen a lot of his concept art, and it's brilliant. And he was kind of waiting to like whether or not he wanted to share them, if he could share them. And he reached out to me yesterday or the day before yesterday, and pretty much said that he's ready, and he wants to come on our show because we've always been a big support to him. And yeah, he said let's do an Ask Me Anything style exclusive, and he's going to bring along all of the concept art that he did with Wyndham, and Yeah, you can ask him anything.
And that's going to be obviously that's going to be a great experience for everyone. And just when you thought you saw it all, when he came on before, there's more.
There's more.
Yeah, there's more. So,
Oh, there's a
it's
lot. There's a lot more that he has not released. So there's some amazing stuff that you guys haven't seen.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. That's going to be special. And obviously, we're gonna we'll give everyone a chance to ask questions. We're gonna um ask ask you guys to submit some questions.
Yeah.
And as we get closer to that time, we'll let you know how to do that. But yeah, we want to make sure that that day that we have Kyle with us, that we ask him a ton of questions, but also give him an opportunity to share his concept art and share memories and thoughts as well. Really to give him the space to do that. So,
and I really appreciate that he wanted to do it with us. And I said, feel very honored.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that. Honestly, that
he was visibly missing from
yeah,
the documentary. So
yeah,
now we get Kyle's documentary.
that's right. That's right. And we are very honored that he's choosing us to do this with, and really excited about the opportunity. So yeah, we're pumped up, and we'll get more details out as that date gets closer. So you all can ask your questions, and we've got a ton as well. I know that Jody has a lot. I have a lot. And we know that you will as well. So thank you to everyone for your continued support and and being with us for all this time. And we were actually talking about this after the WrestleMania stream, just talking about how long this had been going on. We've been doing this for 4 years now, which is crazy to even say, but we've been doing this for 4 years. So it's really special that the community that we've built here, and all of you that are in chat. We thank you for being along this journey with us. So really cool stuff. But we'll get you more details about Kyle. And one other thing that's kind of a breaking news thing, which may lend itself to a possible return, but Matt Hardy is officially a free agent. He is not re-signed with AEW. So Jody, give us your thoughts on that.
I would love to see him come back and work with Uncle Howdy. I think it would be poetic.
Yeah. And I saw something a little earlier where folks were kind of asking, hey, would you like for this to happen? And I would say there are a lot of things that you can do with Uncle Howdy and this story that don't involve in-ring action. And I think that, to protect Matt's health, to allow his creativity to show through and really do the things that we know that Matt can do, there's so many different things that you can do. And I'm just glad. Just glad that hopefully he has an opportunity to go back and maybe do some special things with the Uncle Howdy story. So Clown saying Tony was a dick. He was supposed to be a free agent before Mania, but they extended his contract. So
you're surprised by this because
I have a lot to say about that, about the company this coming Sunday. So yeah, I got a lot.
Tony needs to stop doing lines. And I'm not talking about Coca-Cola. So
Deanna saying, I think Matt would be an amazing producer on the Stories with the Darker Side. I agree. I think he'd be tremendous. If you put his mind and Joseph Parks, formerly known as Abyss, together for some of these darker storylines, they can really they can really do some special things. So a lot of people saying that, Matt going back would be really cool. I agree. Um, let's see. Jeremy saying here, do you think Uncle Howdy will do a Bray story or more of a tribute to Bray and Wyndham?
Both.
Both. Okay. And we're gonna get to some things that we saw last night and heard last night. So please stick around and we'll go over some of your questions then. But obviously right now I want to get to some of this weekend in the Hall of Fame. We started out with and just really special moments. Jody, did you get a chance to watch the Hall of Fame in full, and what did you think about this induction in particular and the tributes that we saw?
I haven't gotten to watch the whole thing, but I've seen clips of this, and his dad and his uncle's induction, and this moment where all of them had the fireflies out, and it was just so beautiful. Seeing Bray's dad get all emotional, I mean, it just makes you emotional.
Yeah.
Parents shouldn't have to bury their kids.
Very true.
And it's not supposed to be that way. And
Very
that's
true.
always a really hard thing to go through.
And then we saw on WrestleMania Saturday. Was it Saturday or it was Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
WrestleMania Saturday, we saw the all of the inductees come out as they typically do during WrestleMania and get introduced to the crowd. And obviously Barry Windham also had on the Becoming Immortal shirt. But Mike had on the moth symbol with the circle. I thought that was really awesome for them.
It was amazing. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. And so also during this weekend, there were a lot of things at WWE World. There was a panel that I hope that we get a video for at some point. We've seen some clips out there of the panel.
Yeah.
But really cool stuff. And we see Brittany right here with one of the pieces that was there at WWE World. But Jody, I want to get your thoughts and the thoughts of the chat of everything that you've seen in terms of photos and everyone that everything that they've posted over the weekend.
Yeah, obviously, they unveiled this, which we saw during the documentary, but for people to be able to see it in person, and then they have this life-size statue of him, which was insane. I mean, that looks so real. I wish I was there because it would have been wild. I know a lot of people got to meet Jason Baker and his family being on the talk, and just saw a photo or a video recently of JoJo saying how happy Bray was that the Firefly Funhouse was well received. It was kind of his baby, and he was kind of protective of it and wanted it to be successful. And obviously the Fireflies are going to love anything he does. So yeah, I haven't been able to watch and look at everything because sometimes I get a little bit too emotional. But yeah, there was a Firefly Funhouse there that people could actually go in, and yeah, I was like, man, I wish we could have gone.
Yeah, me too. And it was that there was just so much and so many cool pictures and videos out there, and I'm really interested to see more of the panel clips, because one of the things that was a topic there was the Undertaker and kind of his that moment that we'll always remember on Raw, where he whispered into Bray's ear, and Big E, I thought, asked a great question, like, what was that moment like between you two? Was that really you passing the torch? And Undertaker basically confirmed that and said, basically, you're the Lord of Darkness now, telling that to Bray. So I thought that was really really special. So
and I can see why Bray said that he was going to take that to his grave.
Yeah, because that's special.
Very special.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting the torch passed to you from the guy that, really paved the way,
It
and
makes
laid
me
that foundation.
wonder if Bray would have been in that match instead of Taker.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, who knows, Jody? I mean, that match, it could have been Bray in that
Instead of
match. The
Taker.
one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, even maybe instead of Cody in some ways. Maybe they were thinking something completely different with Cody. We'll never know, and that's fine. But I think if it came down to someone making a save, yeah, I think it could have been. I definitely think it could have been him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so for sure, I think, and also I thought it was interesting too. But they asked Taker about the streak.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about who it helped more, who it would have helped more. And he's always kind of been like, you wish Brock hadn't been the one.
Yeah.
And then he was talking about Roman being, how it helped Roman. He said, but the guy that it would have helped more, and he wishes that he would have done that with,
Was
that
Bray.
it was Bray. That
Yep.
he wishes Bray would have been the one to break the streak. So I thought that was
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, he won't get any disagreements from any of us, we'll say. So yeah, that was interesting coming out of that panel. I know that we also, for you collectors out there, we got some different figures that have been circulating in terms of what's out there. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Ringside Collectibles posted something about, these figures, this figure that's coming out, and this is going to be a good one to get. So make sure you don't miss out on this one.
yeah, it's gonna be really cool. And I know we'll probably get it in my house. So
Yeah, we definitely will.
so yeah, definitely. All right, so I promised music. I got a little bit of ahead of myself. I got very, very excited. So we'll go to some music right now, and I know Jody has a couple updates. We hadn't had one in a while, so
Yeah.
some updates in Caleb's corner.
Yeah. Man, it has been a long time since we've done a Caleb's Corner. So they've added a couple of new dates to the Never Stop Rockin' tour in the UK. So they're still going to have those regular dates, but Caleb posted that they've added a couple of dates in Ireland to the end of it. So he's never been in Ireland before. And so I'm super excited for him to be able to go there. Ireland is beautiful. So I'm sure he's really, really stoked to do that. That whole tour is just going to be so much fun for him. So I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat knows who Caleb Johnson is, but if you don't, go get yourself collegicated because he has an amazing voice. Amazing. So super excited for him to do this tour over in the UK. Obviously should be announcing some more dates soon. We're trying to go, me and my friend Karen are trying to go. They're doing a show in Michigan in May at a casino. So we're going to try to go to that one. Because he still owes me a bear hug. So
There you go. So yeah, good updates there. I want to bring a comment back. Erase your mind, saying Fiend could have been the final nail to Roman's coffin at the end of WrestleMania, probably instead of Taker. Makes sense since Roman took the Fiend's title. Yeah. I mean, there. It's not like they didn't have a story there, for
right.
sure. So yeah. You mentioned the name Jason Baker earlier.
Yeah.
There were some really cool masks and different pieces over the weekend, and one was Cody Rhodes. I mean, this thing was awesome.
Yeah. had to message Jason Baker after seeing the one that Damian Priest and Finn Balor were wearing and asked him if that was his handiwork because it sure looked like it. And he just said, yes, ma'am.
There you go.
So, I mean, he also did Asuka's and then Cody's. So Jason Baker was a very, very busy man on WrestleMania weekend doing the panel, unveiling all that Bray stuff, and then doing all these masks for everybody. You know, Jason Baker's a freak of nature.
It is.
I didn't intend for that to rhyme, but you know.
And I thought it was interesting too, and I want to say welcome to everyone that's recently joined us. Hey Jesse, Callan, hey everyone else that's joined. If you don't mind, folks, while you're here, drop a like on the video. If you're on YouTube and this is your first time watching us, subscribe. Even if you're watching from another platform, come over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and hit that post notification bell so you know when we have future content. So yeah, he was a busy man. And another story that I read was that Drew McIntyre's gear actually got lost.
Yeah.
And so did you see that story?
Yeah, so Drew McIntyre's gear got lost and Jason Baker's wife made him new gear. Like on the spot. Which is nuts. So she's very talented as well.
Yeah, I mean that was tremendous. I mean, you know, so not only did Drew tweet during his match, like actually tweeted,
That's nuts.
that was crazy. But he also had to have some last minute gear, and like Jody said, Jason Baker's wife comes to the rescue, and yeah, I mean that was awesome. That was really awesome. So another awesome thing was seeing this moment. We talked about it, but the look on The Rock's face as he was being choke slammed by the Undertaker, very memeable, right?
Yes, he sold that so well.
He did. Yeah. Very memeable photo there. So all of you folks who like to do the memes and everything on social media, have fun with that, because that's going to be a lot of fun to do some different things. And obviously this moment, man, this again, the story that we got from Cody Rhodes, and not to take away anything that Roman Reigns did, because he was just absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
And should get a ton of credit. I know a lot of the wrestlers are heaping praise on Roman, as they should, because he was absolutely phenomenal. But Jody, I know we saw your reaction to this, but since you've had time to kind of process Cody Rhodes finishing his story, what are your thoughts?
I loved it. I mean, Cody is the guy. I mean, he's the guy. So, I obviously, this past year, you've definitely felt like they put him up against every obstacle possible. And, the fact that he beat that and, walked away as champion was, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was very awesome. And, what else? We were also looking forward to the Raw after Mania, because let's be honest, there's a lot that happens on the Raw after Mania. And I mean, there was a lot that did happen. Obviously we got a lot that happened with Cody and the next step in his story. But also we got a couple teases, and we're gonna get there. James Chadwick saying, people are saying, why was Undertaker involved? He's got nothing to do with the story with the bloodline. But if you think about it logically, it does make sense. It comes down to the
yard from him.
Yeah, I mean you've got Heyman there. Roman is beating Taker at Mania. So I mean there's story there.
Yeah.
There's some logic there. I know that people wanted to see Stone Cold in that spot, and I get it. If Stone Cold had come out instead of Taker, I probably would have destroyed my setup, not on purpose, but just like being that happy. But I was happy with the Undertaker being involved, and it did make sense, and it does make sense. So,
Yeah.
so people, I think sometimes people just like to have something to complain about
Yeah.
and critique, and yeah. So I think that's it. So, um, so we got a glitch.
We did.
We got a bit of a glitch.
And look,
During,
we're gonna have to start looking for Easter eggs now.
we are, and that's a good
Obviously.
thing.
Like, you know, we're gonna have to start looking for all these little glitches. I feel like my fingers are twitching. You know what I mean? Like it's very reminiscent of the White Rabbit stuff.
Very,
Especially
yeah,
since
very.
it started with the song.
Yeah, and let's get to that song. So here's the song for those of you. Um,
So it was it was played during a commercial break, I think.
yeah, and the song is called Nightbird.
Mm-hmm. And it's got some interesting lyrics. Talking about, you know, demons and sinking and rising and swamps, and you know it's just, it's almost like I'm having deja vu, because this is exactly how the White Rabbit stuff started.
Right.
Started with that song being played through a commercial break, and it went from there. So I think this is going to build and build and build and build and build and build and build, just like the White Rabbit stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. This is Deanna saying the song is creepy and awesome. Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809 saying, I think this is the new White Rabbit. I think it could possibly be called Mockingbird. Um, Erase Your Mind saying Nightbird aired 2-3 minutes before Raw, I believe. And
Yeah.
we were getting those things like Jody said, you know, when we first got the White Rabbit, we didn't necessarily see it on our end, but folks live in the arena were getting you know, the song played there. And yeah, I mean, I think this is gonna be awesome. I know I'm looking forward to what's next.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess we can spend some time there. So since we got that tease last night, what are your thoughts on how close we are to possibly seeing Uncle Howdy and the evolution of I guess the next chapter of this story?
I still think it's pretty far away.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to build very slowly, in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's going to build slowly. We're going to slowly start getting more teases, QR codes. Don't be surprised if they wait until the anniversary that Bray came back in October and Uncle Howdy comes back then.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And I think too, I don't want folks to get ahead of themselves, and I
Yeah,
want
I
you
don't
to,
want them to rush into it.
yeah, yeah. I think folks should think about it as like we know who Uncle Howdy is now. And I mean, obviously, I think a lot of us knew before, but we know, yeah, we know definitively now. So I think understanding the man behind Uncle Howdy, give him some time, because I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
it is absolutely difficult to go to work and do these things,
That your brother did.
and yeah, that your brother did, and maintain your emotions and be able to pull this off. So
Yeah.
just be patient, not only for the story to work out the way that it's supposed to, but also for Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And knowing that, you know, Uncle Howdy was somebody that Bray created, that's going to make it even more difficult for him, because then he really is carrying on Bray's legacy, because it's something that Bray created. So that's going to make it even more emotional for him, I think. But yeah, don't be surprised if they wait until Extreme Rules to bring it back.
Yeah. And and I want to ask you, so kind of going down that thought process. So if you're WWE, how do you pull this off until then? Do you continue with these little glitches? Do you start doing something like QR codes again? What do you do from now to kind of give yourself that time to build out that much time until Extreme Rules? And
I mean, I
same question
think,
to the chat.
yeah, I think you have to look back at what they did with the Fiend and what they did with the White Rabbit stuff and do something similar. Like that really worked for them. So yeah, keep on doing some glitches. Maybe a 2-second promo where you just see Uncle Howdy. You know what I mean? Like he just shows up somewhere but doesn't do anything. Or yeah, start with QR codes because we all loved those. And it led to one place, another place, another place, and that was brilliant. Like the whole QR code thing was absolutely brilliant. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. Right. No, I agree with that. I think if they do a combination of QR codes, glitches, that kind of thing, that would be great. I would also add that I don't know that I would want to see Uncle Howdy on screen until Extreme Rules. If they can somehow pull that off and not have him physically present until Extreme Rules, I think, I mean, you want to talk about the roof going off of a place, and the roof would
Have
blow
him come
off.
through Bray's door.
Oh my goodness. I was just about to say the roof would go off and tears would be flowing
Yep.
because that would be a special moment. DRO saying Uncle Howdy should bring back the fun house. I want to give me 1 second because I want to talk about that. Erase Your Mind saying glitches and samples of Nightbird and then start the QR codes and puzzles to solve. I like that. James just tweeted you something, Jody. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about what elements of the Fiend of Bray Wyatt should come back. Is everyone like, what do you think about that idea of the Funhouse coming back, and how would you execute that? How would you do that if you were to bring the Funhouse back?
Admonish me for it, but I don't think they should.
You don't think they should bring back the Funhouse? Do you? So let me ask you this: do you think they create another version of it though, something specific to Howdy?
Yes.
Okay.
I think they could definitely do that.
See, I could see him sitting in like a log cabin with a rocking chair or something.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you can bring in you can have a lantern like on a table to have, to have that reminder of Bray and the rocking chair.
You can
But
even have little bits of each of the puppets that
True.
represent each of the puppets. But I
True.
think if Uncle Howdy's going to have his own version of the Funhouse, it needs to be his version of the Funhouse that plays nod to Bray instead of trying to do what Bray did.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It would be, and I don't know, I mean, folks let me know, but even if he had like little statues of the puppets on the table surrounding the lantern, I think that'd be a nice touch.
Yeah.
But I do think that, I don't think the same version of the Funhouse that we know and love. I
What
agree.
if we see the other side of the Funhouse?
The
other side of the door.
Yeah.
We talked about that with the Pitch Black match, and Bray saying, "You open the door, what comes through it is not my problem anymore." And we haven't really seen the other side of the door, other than I think the door that Bray came out of was the Funhouse door. So that could be an interesting play on it if we're seeing the other side of the door. If Howdy's going to be a heel, and you've got that sign on the inside of the Funhouse door, abandon all hope, ye who exit here, you're going into a dark side.
Right.
So I think they could tie that together and have, Howdy's Funhouse in a way, that it's on the other side of the door. And the only person that's present on both sides is Abby.
Yeah.
because she's in the window.
Jesse saying there was the other side in the Firefly Funhouse match.
But it was dark. We didn't see anything.
So maybe this is our opportunity to explore that darkness, as you're saying.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Alexa Bliss Gamer 0809 saying they could also bring back Alexa's Playground.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they wait in part to have Miss Bliss a part of all of this, or do you think they do something? You think they do something different?
I think they could do it either way, because obviously before Alexa left, she had a couple of moments with Uncle Howdy, almost like he was trying to recruit her. So you could have him come back and immediately recruit her. You could have him come back and continue these mind games with her to try to recruit her, and she is trying not to.
Mm-hmm. Now here's an interesting thought, given the breaking news that we had at the beginning. And I know we always ask the question about Uncle Harper. Do you think that instead of a broken Matt Hardy, we get something else if he decides to go back to WWE? Well, let me ask this question. Do you think that if Matt Hardy re-signs with WWE, he has to be involved in this story? Are we going to get folks clamoring for his involvement in this story?
I think that's something that the fans would want.
Yeah.
Whether or not they would actually do it, I don't know. It depends what kind of ring shape Matt Hardy's in.
Yeah.
He's getting older. So I don't know. It depends what kind of ring shape Matt Hardy's in. Because if they don't want him to do a whole lot of actual wrestling, you're going to have to put him in a faction. So you put him in Karrion Kross's faction, or you put him in with the Judgment Day, which people wouldn't be happy with. And then the only other option is to put him with Uncle Howdy.
Yeah. Very true. Odin's son saying, I was thinking Rowan, Braun, and Alexa. And that's another name, Braun. And, Braun, you got to think about him, too. He's going to be returning at some point. Rowan used to randomly tweet music on Twitter. So, yeah.
I think Braun could play the role of Uncle Harper.
Okay. I think I see where you're going. Take me down that path a little bit, though. How would you play that out?
Well, I mean, if you go back to that song, it's talking about swamps and, things of that nature. And it makes you think about the swamp match that he had with Bray that Alexa interfered in and tried to seduce him. So, maybe something clicked in him and he got pulled under the water. So, and this whole song is talking about rising up, opening your eyes, and being in the water. So if Alexa's going to come back and play a role in this whole story, I think Braun would be a good person to be the opposition to Uncle Howdy.
Yeah.
Because I think Uncle Harper it'll be that classic good and evil story. You'll have Uncle Howdy and Uncle Harper, and Uncle Harper will be the antidote to Uncle Howdy, symbolically.
James Chadwick saying have the lanterns, quote unquote, talk to Howdy could symbolize Bray telling him what to do and who to go after from the afterlife. I think it would be cool. I like that.
So we actually got that little glitch during Braun Breaker. Was it Braun Breaker?
Bronson Reed.
Sorry. It was during Bronson Reed's little segment, and all it says was hello.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, is that indicating that maybe he's the first target, or was it more about that statue?
Right. Well, I wanted to go there too, and I want to get the thoughts of the chat too. But when we do get Howdy back, who does he go after first? Who would you like to see Howdy go after first?
Given who Bray went after when he came back, I think it would be prudent to go after somebody that needs a push. So, you know, Karrion Kross or Street Profits or, you know, somebody like Bronson Reed. I get those two confused so often.
Okay. Clown brings up a point that I wanted to ask you. I was going to ask LA Knight, and the reason why I say that is because that brings it full circle for LA Knight.
Full circle for LA Knight, but Bobby Lashley was the last person he had a feud with. So do you continue that and close that chapter? Or do you move on to somebody completely different?
Yeah. James Chadwick saying at some point it has to be Orton.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
At some point it has to be a lot of people. It has to be Roman. It has to be Seth.
Honestly, it has to be Cody at some point too.
Yep. It's got to be everybody at some point.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't start with the big fish. Not saying that other people are small fish, but I wouldn't start with the big fish. Don't start with Cody, Roman, Seth, you know, Randy Orton. Like, don't start at the top of the mountain.
Yeah, I agree. I think you got to build it up.
Mm-hmm. Like AJ Styles would be a good one.
Would be great, and I say this because part of it I've heard through various channels, but AJ is rounding third base right now in terms of his career. So don't be surprised within the next year or so that AJ's gonna retire. But I want to bring up Ethan's point here. I think that Uncle Howdy should be Bo Dallas's Fiend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. Daniel saying when Bronson Reed said Ricochet, the screen glitched. I thought that was interesting. Now I'll say this too. I'll throw this out there too. What about someone like a Ricochet? Because they have been doing more with him recently.
Yeah.
Would you do you think that would make sense, or would you like to see some not Ricochet, have him do kind of a different thing?
I wouldn't mind a feud with Ricochet. I mean, you have to think about too the style of wrestler that Taylor is.
Right.
He's a little bit different than Bray. So I think you have to adjust for that. And yeah, I'd be okay with a Ricochet. That wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah. Clown saying if Joe Gacy gets called up in the draft, Howdy Gacy could be fun. I agree with that. I agree with that. Deanna saying I'd like to see Bo come back just as Taylor. Okay.
Yeah, I would like to see more than just Uncle Howdy.
Yeah.
I'd
see
like
some
to
different characters.
Like we did with Bray. I'd like to see Taylor too. But then Uncle Howdy is like his Fiend, like you said.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk to Uncle Howdy.
Jesse saying maybe the screen Ricochet.
I mean, Karrion Kross would be a stellar choice. I agree with that. But do you think Karrion Kross would be better as an opponent or an ally?
I think that's a good question. I think that's a really good question. Opponent or ally for Kross. I think I like that. I'd like to see him as an ally, not necessarily joining up forces, but just, hey, I respect you, you respect me. We've got. I think down the line, Yeah.
Yeah.
I think down the line, maybe a feud between them, but for the time being, initially, I think I'd like to see them as allies and kind of fighting similar battles in some way.
Yeah.
The other, so here's what I'm thinking too. In terms of presentation, maybe we get this, maybe we don't. But do you think? And I want to ask how folks would feel about this. Let me get to this question first, though. This is more important. Erase your mind saying, would a faction still be possibly named Wyatt 6?
Yes.
Yeah, you think so? Okay.
Yeah. I think they would continue that in his honor.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's say that we do get Taylor, but what if we get a similar presentation to what we were seeing from Bray this last time around, where we get him in the back kind of, in that mood, but then we get a different persona or side of it when he comes down to the ring and talks to the crowd. Do you think?
Split.
Huh? Yeah, like Split. Yeah. How would you feel about him doing something like that? You're on board for something like that?
Hell yeah. I dig it. Bring it.
Ethan saying Bray's Fiend was about revenge. Taylor's Fiend, Uncle Howdy, could be about dealing with loss.
That would be an interesting spin.
That would. I think they have an opportunity to go in some different places than they've probably done before, than most people would be accustomed to seeing in wrestling. And I think they have an opportunity to really dive deep. And I know Bray was doing this during his last run, but really dive deep into some emotions. And that being loss and just feeling, I think, and sadness and different things. I think that they could really do something special with some of those feelings and how they approach that. So good conversation. I think we'll continue to have things to go into. This is fun, I will say, kind of, going down the rabbit hole again and discussing what can be and what could happen. So Deanna saying, I think they're going to spin us all around what we know we don't know.
Yeah.
I think
it's going to be a total mind F.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Yeah. Raven saying, hey guys, it's been a while since I've been here. Feels like last year all over again.
It does.
Yeah.
It feels like we've got some of that excitement back.
Yeah.
And now we have to be super vigilant on paying attention.
Right.
Because we might miss stuff.
Mm-hmm. Erase your mind saying, and it seems that Triple H's type of wrestling strives on emotions, and I'm all aboard that. Yes, I agree. He really writes stories that connect with you emotionally. He builds characters that way, and I'm all about that. Daniel saying they're going to put us down the rabbit hole again, like when Bray Wyatt returned last. Yeah, exactly.
They sure are.
Yep.
But it's going to be beautiful.
It is.
And the only person that can do it right is Taylor.
That's it. I agree. All right, so we got a few pieces of artwork here before we go. So I just wanted to share some of these. So we'll put this full screen. And here we go. So here, speaking of Uncle Howdy, here we go.
The nightbird calls and shadows creep into my mind, into my sleep. I do not know if I shall rise or open up these weary eyes, which is obviously a line from that song. But it's interesting where this is gonna go. This is from Wrestling Edits on Twitter.
Yeah, that's
really cool stuff. But I love the blank faces in the background because it's like, what face is going to pop up next?
Right.
It's like
Right.
unfinished. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
This is Gerber Black, I believe, on Twitter. And it's Howdy, but Bray is in there. And I love that. You know, you got that little piece of Bray, but he's got fog coming out of him, and it just makes him look real sinister.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks really good.
Welcome to my world without rules. Obviously, this is a Batman Joker one, but I loved it so much that I had to put it in here. It's just a great piece and just shows how amazing Heath Ledger was. Another person that was gone way too soon.
Yeah.
This epic role that he played, and then the role that he played in the movie afterwards, the one that he actually died filming.
Yeah.
And you know, the crazy thing is, if you've never seen his last movie that he filmed, the way it played out was so perfect. It was like it was meant to be that way. So, have you seen his last movie?
I don't think I have.
So it's called The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus.
I have not seen it, no.
Oh, it's so good. So basically, you know, when you go through the mirror, you're in like your dream world. So every time his character goes through the mirror, he's played by somebody else. So like the first time he goes through the mirror, Johnny Depp is playing his character. Next time he goes through the mirror, what's his name? British guy from The Holiday.
I'll have to look.
Yeah, another actor plays him, and then he goes through the mirror again, and it's Colin Firth.
Wow.
And it was like, it was meant to be that way, because all other times in the movie, it was Heath Ledger, except when he went through the mirror. And I'm like, I wonder if that was intentional the whole time, or if it was a pivot.
Right. Wow.
But when you watch it, like it was perfect. Like it was meant to be that way. But it is a weird movie. But Jeff, I think you will pick up on all of the biblical references in there.
Okay.
And the biblical parallels.
Yeah.
There's some really interesting there's some very interesting biblical parallels in there that I actually think you'd really like it. Because basically once you go through the mirror, you're in your dream world, but you have to make a choice.
Okay.
When you go down the path, and you can choose to go down the devil's path, or you can choose to go down God's path. And the devil's path is always more tempting than God's path.
Yeah. I'm going to check that out.
Oh, it's so good. Fantastic movie. And one of my favorite pieces like of biblical parallels is Dr. Parnassus saying something about the devil tries to stop everybody from praying in the room and makes it all go really quiet. And Dr. Parnassus looks and he's like, you can't stop because the message is going on all around the world. And I was just like, that is cool. Because, you know, it's like every time you pray, you keep it going. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out.
Oh, so good. So many biblical parallels.
Yeah. Jimmy Fingers 19 saying, I would love for Braun and Rowan to be involved. They would be two solid heavies for Taylor and Braun. isn't doing anything. I think Braun has been injured, and
Yeah.
he said, "I'm sure Jason Baker can help with creative."
Oh, duh.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. He's
Pretty
gonna
sure he's first on the list.
he's definitely gonna be involved. So
Yeah.
absolutely. All right, we'll go to. We got a couple more here. So we've got this one.
I love the two fiends melded together.
Yeah,
I low key kind of want this as a tattoo now.
that's
Did
that's
you
awesome.
enjoy my little secret? So, this alternate version of the fiend was his next secret.
Mm-hmm. And we've got this one of Bray, which I love this.
I want a print of this. It's absolutely stunning. Beautiful. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. I do really want a print of this. I don't remember who did it, but it was on Twitter. So I'm gonna have to reach out to them and say, hey, I need a print.
Yeah, that's awesome. James, this is the last question we'll take, and then we'll go into final thoughts. But James says, imagine whatever Howdy's Funhouse looks like. There's a rocking chair in there.
A rocking horse.
No, he said meant rocking chair.
Oh.
Down below. And every time there's a sort of Bray or a Fiend reference, the rocking chair starts to rock. I like that.
I love that.
That is. Jesse also wants a copy of that as well. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Well, Jody, as we wrap up this episode, please give us some final thoughts as we head out for the day.
I love all you guys. Thank you for an amazing weekend and keeping us all entertained. Had a blast hanging out with everybody. No other place that I'd rather be. And yeah, I am so excited to go down the rabbit hole with you again.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Tons of fun.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. So thank you all for joining us. We're going to be off until Sunday, so we'll be back for Between the Ropes on Sunday at 8:30. Yeah, thank you all for your support and for your participation. This is what helps us, also keep the conversation going, is hearing your thoughts as well. So thank you all so much for joining in. And again, if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and all those good things. But yeah, thank you all so much. No Impact stream this week, unfortunately. Sorry, but yeah, no Impact stream this week, but we'll be back on Sunday. So take care, everyone. We'll get information out to you about the Kyle episode, and how
I would plan on a little overtime.
Oh, for that, yeah, for sure. Whatever time he has, we want to make sure that we can use it, and if we have to go overtime, we will go overtime. So really looking forward to that conversation. But thank you all so much. Thank you, Jody. Again, this another great episode. I really enjoyed this one, and talking about the weekend that was, and what's to come. So yeah, good stuff, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Be safe, enjoy the wrestling this week, and go check out Tazzy for NXT this evening. But thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time, folks.